Welcome back to Grumps Barn. Well, today, as you can see, I've actually got a heater out here. First time ever. I've got to heat up these calipers just a bit because the solution that I've got with the tannic acid and that in it to put over this and deal with the surface rust that's on there, and also give me a nice primed surface, apparently requires a temperature of above 5 degrees, and currently outside the barn it's 6 degrees, so I need to warm these up just a bit and then put the new acid stuff on there. This stuff's called Vactan. I don't know quite what it's like. I've seen it used on YouTube and it doesn't seem too bad. So if I bugger it, I'll give it a go. It's not that expensive, so we'll have a go and see what happens. And then once I've done that, I will start taking the hubs off this. I've got to clean all those up as well. In fact, I might actually give a little bit of a clean first while everything's together. Just save crap getting in on the bearings when I take the hub off. I need the hubs off to replace the brake discs because they're knackered. Right, well, back in a bit when this is all warmed up. Well, there they are, all painted up with this stuff. In fact, on this side here, you see it's already drying off. Turning any slightly rusty areas black, well, dark brown to black. This one's a bit wetter. Well, on this side anyway. The other side's a bit drier, but I'm not turning it over until it's fully dry, obviously. Once this stuff's dry, I can then apparently paint it. I've got some nice zinc rich spray that will do for that. There'll be a nice silvery colour. I see no point in painting those black as well. You can have too much of a good thing. Right, just wait for this lot to dry now. Well, there you go. Had the first coat of zinc rich paint. Yellow grey patching. Look around the other side. Yeah, there we go. Look a hell of a lot better now. And tomorrow I shall give them another coat just to finish them off. And then next week when I get the rebuild kit, then the fun starts. Yeah, they can be a bloody nightmare to do, but there you go. Just about everything on a bloody Land Rover can be a nightmare to do, and that's just another one of those nightmares. Right, let's get on. Alright, well there we go. I've de-rusted these bits, scraped it all off, and then given them a coat of the Vactan stuff, rust converter. It means when I take it apart now, I'm not going to have shitloads of rust falling into the bearings, which I want to reuse if at all possible. There we go, that's them both done. In a minute I shall give these a second coat, they'll be nice and dry. Well, I better go on with that. There we go. second coat done. And that's me done for today. I shall be back here again tomorrow to do some more. The video will continue from then. Then we can see what the hell these look like once they've dried off. Be interesting. See you later. Back again the next day now. And this has dried off nicely. Yeah, it looks alright. Yeah. As it's all clean and now treated, I feel a lot happier about taking these off. So I don't end up getting crap all in the bearings. Right, time to get on and get this side off. Well, I just had a thought, in case anyone hasn't done these before, I might as well talk you through it while I'm doing it. First off, you take off the rubber cap over the top. Just get a little screwdriver under there and lever it off. And then on the end of here, you will find a nice big circlip. Take that off with a pair of circlip pliers. You will then find a little shim. Keep that. Once that's off, your drive shaft is then free, or half shaft is now free, and you then have these 5 bolts to undo here. Undo them in a nice crisscross fashion to stop it warping as you undo it. They might be tight, they should be tight because they should have Loctite on them. Alright, I should be able to undo this by hand now. No, that one's still a bit tight. Alright, back once I've undone these. Right, now the bolts are out. What I've just done is I put a screwdriver on there, gave it a slight knock with a hammer, a couple of little taps just to free off the gasket from behind. And now you should be able to just pull this off. Oh, we're losing a bit of oil, but never mind, hang on. Need to get a container, hang on, back in a sec. Right, here we go. Let's get it off now. Yeah, we're losing a bit of oil. That doesn't matter. Just means this thing's leaning down a little bit. But there we go, I've got something down to catch it anyway. So there you go, that's your driving plate, or driven plate. That's what turns everything. Transmits the power to the wheel. Take that off. Right, next, you've got these lovely big nuts here. You've got one here, and you've got one behind it. First one, there, is there just to set the preload on your bearings, and the second one is a lock nut to stop that coming undone. But then you also have a plate in between the two, I hope you can see it there, that is bent down onto the bottom one and up on the top one to stop them turning in any way and undoing in normal use. So the next thing I shall do is find out which one is bent up. Where the hell is it? Oh yeah, it's this one here. Bent up. I shall bend that down so I can then undo this. Alright, back in a second. Well, there you go, I don't know if you can see that, but this is now flattened that back down. Just use a hammer and a old screwdriver. Small chisel will do the job. Right, once you've got that undone, you can then undo this. Shouldn't be particularly tight. No, it's a little bit too tight. I'm gonna have to get this undone. Put a ratchet on it. This should not be very tight. Hang on, I have to come back. Need two hands. Alright, that's it. That's that loosened. I'd say they're never particularly tight on most cars. If it's been there for a while, they can be a complete bugger to undo. There we go. That's your first nut. Then screwdriver time again. Lever out this bendy washer that sits behind there. Yours probably won't be as wet as this is, but it appears I've got a seal gone behind the bearings. Because normally all you got in here is grease. But all I've got is shitloads of engine oil, gear oil coming out. So everything stinks of EP now, but never mind. It's a smell you get used to if you got Land Rovers. There we go. I should be bending this flat again before I reuse it. And just bending a different bit up and down next time from the bits that are already bent on it. They are reusable a couple of times, as long as you use a different bit. If you try and rebend a bit that's already bent, it will just snap off and won't do its job. Alright, now this inner nut, bloody hell, normally loose. Yeah, this is an old box spanner I bought for the job, and as you can see, many years ago I welded a socket to the back end of it. Makes it a lot easier to get these things apart. Some people undo these with a cold chisel and a hammer, but it's not a good idea. You only knacker them all up. It's not that expensive for a proper spanner anyway. If you've got Land Rovers, you're going to need that box spanner. And as I say, if you can't afford the socketed one, I couldn't at the time, you buy the box spanner and you weld yourself a socket on the back end so you can then use it as a big socket. Works perfectly well. And there we go. One more nut off. Right, now all there is to do is give this a little tug. And behind here, there is a big thick washer, which is what basically takes the pressure from that nut down to your bearings behind it. And when I pull this off, that washer is going to come off, and the inner race at the front will also come out. The back one is held in place by an oil seal, so you don't have to worry about the back ones falling out. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to buy a new oil seal, because that one's not sealing any fucking thing. Not judging by all this oil pissing out. Right, I'll take it off and I'll get back. Well, yet again we found something else. Right, it's now off, sitting over here. Bloody thing. And I found that the land on here is rather worn as well. This is what the oil seal sits on. And it's rather scored. So I'm probably going to have to replace that at some point. Deep joy. Not a job I wasn't expecting. God dear. I'll see what these bearings are like in a minute, whether they need replacing. They're going to have to be washed out and re-greased anyway, because they're full of oil at the moment. There again, it wouldn't have done them any harm. A lot of old motors used to use the bloody oil from the axle to lubricate the bearings anyway, but yeah, it doesn't do any harm, it means they don't go dry, but it's supposed to be just full of grease. Never mind. Such is life. Right. Next job, to clean this bloody lot up and disconnect the steering arms while I'm at it. And that's just a case of undoing what's left of the nut under here for this one and popping it out. Same with these two, this one, this end, and over that end there. They're popping out next as well. I've got to get this apart, get it off, so I can then clean all this up, which is absolutely filthy. Covered in gunge. I should probably stick a plastic bag over this to stop any crap getting in there and getting inside the bloody axle. Or even just a glove actually might do that. Rubber glove and a cable tie, I think. That should do that job. Right. Get on with that. Right, well there we go. That's the flexible hose off. If you take one of these off, it's a standard size bit you're getting off there. There was a 16mm on this side and a 17mm on this side. And on this side there was also a shakeproof washer to stop it going undone. Right, down to clean this lot up now. Look at that. Crap everywhere. Lovely. Get this cleaned. Well, there we go. That's that a lot cleaner. Still not quite there, but we're getting there. Hell of a lot of crap come off that. Ah dear, and as you can see I've also disconnected, excuse me, the old trailing arm there as well. Oh, and a little tip for those if you don't know, I mean a lot of people do, but if you don't, when you come across an old nut like this that's got a split pin through the middle of it, don't bother taking the split pin out. Just snap off the two legs off the end of it. Stick your socket straight over it and just undo it. They rip apart very, very easily and it saves a hell of a lot of piddling about. This is if you're changing things, obviously. It's a lot easier to do it that way, rather than trying to fiddle about and try and get the damn thing out, because they're invariably rotted in anyway. Right. Next I'm going to get this end off. And then I can finish cleaning up this end here. But I think I'll try some of that vac down on it, see how it does. It did pretty well on the other bits. Alright, back in a bit. And there we go, that's that one out. Oh, I forgot to mention there were 19mm bolts nut underneath these. And I know you can clout them or whatever to release them, but it's not a good idea when it's sitting on top of a workmate. So I've been using my old trusty ball joint breaker there. I find these ones are actually very, very good. And they're also very good if you want to reuse the things, because they don't tend to wreck the rubber, unlike some of the other ones I've got. Especially the old pickle fork type one, as they call them. It just pushes right in there, and eventually it just knackers the rubber on its way through. But no, I found that one's definitely the best one for getting things apart. Very, very good. Right, back on to cleaning now.